What is good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Mod Talks and Gaming. Today, I gotta just fill you in on a couple stuff going on. Number one, I haven't been posting a lot. It's the holidays. I'm posting this the Monday before Christmas. If you've noticed, I've only been posting one video a week. That's the reason why. It's just because not only has the holidays been making my life a little bit chaotic, but also my work at the moment's also been very chaotic because we're trying to get everything done before we shut down for the season. So that's the reason why I just haven't been really available. But without further ado, I'm going to jump right into this. This is my Dark Paladin deck profile. This deck is actually really, really fun to play. I don't necessarily feel as if you should be playing this competitively, but it does work competitively if you do decide that, hey, I'm going to fight the meta with a cool deck. This is probably one of the decks you should choose. If you watched my Dark Magician deck last week, you saw that we were using the special skill Switcheroo, which if you don't know what that does, I'll pull it up for you real quick. But it's a really cool skill. And now I pulled up speed duel cards, all custom cards. And then, so if you don't know what this does, it says once per turn and twice per duel, you put a card back from your hand to the deck, shuffle it, and draw a new card. And what this does is it allows us to get our pieces to summon out our Dark Paladin just a little bit faster. So that's really cool. We played double Dark Magician in our main deck. I don't want to play it any more than that. If you saw my Dark Magician video last week, we played the same amount in that video as well. This card is really cool because, Yugimoto, main protagonist, it's also one of our materials for our Dark Paladin monster, so that's really neat. We're playing 3 Breaker the Magical Warrior instead of the Apprentice package like last time. This is so we can get rid of the spell and trap cards our opponent has that can floodgate our Dark Paladin when it comes out. And then we play Triple Buster Blader. This card is just, in our hand. That way we can fusion summon as fast as possible. Our main deck, we're playing Triple Dark Magic Curtain, which is the same exact ratio we have for our Dark Magician deck. Dark Magic Curtain pays half your life points, so you get special summon Dark Magician from your deck. And then you can't normal summon, or you can't summon other monsters that turn, but you can set. But that doesn't really matter in this deck. So Dark Magic Curtain is really cool in this deck because you summon out your Dark Magician, and then you can actually set your fusion, your Destruction Sword fusion, which we're playing at 3 in this deck. And this is actually just a quick play polymerization for the Buster Blader fusion monster. So Dark Paladin's a Buster Blader fusion monster. So you use this guy with your Buster Blader and Dark Magician that you special summoned with Dark Magic Curtain during your opponent's turn, and then what that does is that then summons your Dark Paladin, which is a spell negate, which is really cool. But yeah, it also has this really neat effect that adds it back to your hand. You can send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard and add it to your hand, so I think that's really neat if you absolutely need it again, but very rarely are you using it for this. You're more so looking for pieces. Emblem of the Dragon Destroyer, this is to add a Buster Blader from your deck to your hand, so that's really nice. My opinion to you, use this before you use Switcheroo. So activate Emblem, grab your Buster Blader, use your Switcheroo. If you have multiple Buster Bladers, put your Buster Blader back in the hand and draw a new card. That way you deck thin. And then lastly, we played 2 Floodgates, and that's kind of a good card to be playing. I don't know if I went over the fact that we're playing 2 Book of Moon, 2 Floodgate, but yeah, I've been playing this at 2 of 2 in almost every deck I've been playing lately. I think it's been going very well for me. For our side deck, we're playing double Cosmic Cyclone because this deck loses to Moss, double Lost Wind because this deck loses to XYZ. And then we're playing double Waking the Dragon because we could cheese out our Arcana Knight Jokers or Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragons or Thousand Eyes Restrict if we find ourselves in a duel situation where our opponent is just using Breaker a lot, or main decking Cosmics or Night Beams or something like that. So I think that this list is really cool. If you don't know what Dark Paladin does, he's, like I said, he's our main boss monster of the deck. He's a quick effect spell negate by discarding a card, which is insane in speed duels because we don't have anything like that. And this card also, while it's, this card also gains 500 attack for each dragon monster on the field and in the graveyard. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, this deck is really fun to play. If you guys like it, leave a like on this video, and leave a comment in the comment section down below if you have any advice on how I can make this deck better. But without further ado, I'm going to jump right into the showcase. I'll see you guys in a second. Alright, so this is the showcase of the video. We're playing against my buddy Webflex. This is my best friend since kindergarten. This is Alex, and I couldn't get anybody on Dueling Book to play me, so I was just like, alright, well, I'm going to play against this guy. And he's actually playing Spellproof Armor. So So that's pretty cool. So without further ado, I'm going to jump right into that. He, I believe, wins the coin toss, and then opens up Dark Factory, Waking the Dragon, Shrink, and Book of Moon. And then he's, like I said, playing Spellproof, and we're playing Switcheroo. To start off the game, I'm going to Switcheroo, putting a card back from my hand into the deck, which is Emblem of the Dragon Destroyer, using its effect to grab the other Buster Blader. That way we dex in. And then we're going to use the Curtain to pay 2,000 life points. That way we can just summon the Dark Magician. At this point, this is probably the best play we actually can do with this hand, so we're just going to pass there. Opponent is lined up with the quick play spells, and it's like not looking the best for us. He sets the Waking the Dragon, and then sets double Book of Moon, and then passes turn off to us, to which I summon Breaker, use its effect, and then pop the middle spell trap card zone, being the Waking the Dragon. Waking activates, and then what this does is that it summons out the Arcana Knight Joker. So I'm going to use Switcheroo here, putting Buster Blader back in the deck, setting both my Book of Moons, and then passing turn. The opponent draws an Ally of Justice Colossalus, uses the Spellproof, and then summons Colossalus. Attacks into the Dark Magician with Arcana, to which I use Book of Moon onto it. He uses the effect discarding the Dark Production, and then I use my other Book of Moon to set it face down either way. That way we can keep it on the field, get rid of the big bird when we absolutely need to. He attacks into the Breaker, and then we drop to 700 life points. Drawing for turn, not drawing into the Fusion here really sucked, because that's what we were banking on, but oh well. We set the Breaker face down, and then attack into the Ally of Justice Colossalus, to which it gets Book of Moon. Not looking too good for us in this moment. Flips the Arcana Knight, sets the Shrink, and then asks us what the defense of our Dark Magician is, so he can attack over it with Bird, and then attacks over our Breaker with the Arcana. Drawing into the Fusion, we need a last turn, nothing we can do at this point, so we proceed to admit defeat going into game 2. That's kind of like the thing about this deck the most, is the fact that, like, if you brick, you're not going to do very well, but we did fine, I guess. You know, using the Breaker to hit the Waking the Dragon, the main deck Waking the Dragon at that, to some of the Arcana Knight was kind of crazy. And then he sets it in the middle because he knows how I play and knows that I always hit the middle first. So I'm like, of course. So this here, he sets Zoma and sets Shrink, and then summons the Ally of Justice in past turns. We're actually going to put back our bottom or Floodgate Trap Hole, and then we're going to draw into the Dark Magician. 2 of pieces have now entered to the hand, and then we're going to summon Breaker. This time we're not hitting the middle. And then, yeah, I'm going to set 2 cards face down, and then the opponent's going to draw for turn, to which he actually draws into Jinzo. We're going to Book of Moon our Breaker the Magical Warrior, setting it face down, and that way we don't take damage. We draw into the Dark Magic Curtain, use our skill, putting it back in the deck, and then drawing a card, being the Emblem of the Dragon Destroyer, which is crazy for us. So we get our Buster Blader, we use our Destruction Swordsman Fusion, sending both of the characters to the graveyard, and then we summon Dark Paladin in defense mode. The reason why is because if this was another Shrink, or if this is a Book of Moon, or if this is anything that matters, if this is a Zoma, he's going to just kill us here. So it's like, yeah, best that we just play this in defense mode, because the man probably doesn't have too many cards that can out this, except for like an Offerings to the Doomed. Summons the Ally of Justice and then passes turn. We're then going to draw into our Dark Magic Curtain, pay half our life points, and summon the Dark Magician from deck. This allows us to attack into the Jinzo to try and bait out the Shrink. Draws the Shrink for turn, and then proceeds to turn off to us again. We get the Emblem of the Dragon Soul, decks in our deck by getting the Buster Blader from deck to hand, switch the Dark Paladin to attack mode, and then attack the Ally of Justice Colossalus. He takes damage down to 600, and then Dark Magician attacks directly. He activates the Zone of the Spirit, to which we Floodgate Trap Hole it face down, and then attack directly again. At this point, he goes down to 800 life points. Drawing into the Book of Moon, he sets it face down, and I draw for turn. I changed my Dark Paladin to defense mode because of Zone of the Spirit. Use the Dark Paladin, or use the Breaker the Magical Warrior to pop the Zoma, and then attack directly for 1600. He has Shrink, and he has Book, so I'm going to negate either one of these and still be able to get game. Going on into game 3, I think he makes us go first again, which is fine. Yep, so we use Switcheroo, putting back the Floodgate, getting the Magical Curtain, using the Curtain to get the Breaker, and then setting the Floodgate face down. So since we have protection, I feel like this is the smarter play to do. The opponent uses Summoner's Art, and then adds Ally of Justice Colossalus to hand, sets the Zoma, and then normal summons the Ally of Justice, to which we Floodgate Trap pull the Ally of Justice, and then he ends his turn. We draw for turn, drawing into the other breaker. Takes a gamble here, using the effect of breaker to pop the face down card. I wasn't sure if this was a bait or not, but you know, anything could happen. Using Switcheroo to put the breaker back in the deck, and then we set the Floodgate Trap hole face down. Use the curtain here, and this will drop our life points to 2k, and then summon the Dark Magician. Entering the battle phase, we attack his face down monster, and then attack directly for 2500. Passing the turn off to the opponent, who only gets to shrink, he summons the Colossalus, and then sets the shrink face down. And admits defeat here, because there's really nothing he can do here. I guess he could shrink my Dark Magician whenever I attack, but it's still going to climb that by 50 life points. So no matter what, he loses the game here, because I am able to Floodgate Trap hold the Ally of Justice Colossalus. But yeah, that was pretty much the game. It's really cool. It was a lot of fun to test this deck out. Like I said, Dark Paladin is absolutely insane. And like this card here, Destruction Sword Fusion. This card is actually really good. And the reason why is just because it's quick play polymerization. And like that's really cool in this kind of deck, especially paired with the Magician's Curtain, because like this locks you out of being able to summon for that turn, but it doesn't lock you out of being able to summon for your opponent's turn. So what you do is you just attack with your Dark Magician into the Ally of Justice after you set this. They go into their turn, and then it's like they shrink your Dark Magician or whatever, and you have the Buster Blader hand. You can Destruction Sword Fusion to the targeting of Shrink, and then Fusion summon out your Dark Paladin. And I think that's just bonkers. So yeah, if you guys like this kind of deck, if you guys are excited for these types of videos, make sure you leave a like, make sure you leave a comment, and make sure if you like me, you subscribe, because you know I'd love to see more of you guys. But other than for that, I hope you all have a great Christmas, because I don't think I'm going to be able to be posting before Christmas again. But yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.